Welcome everyone on my channel. My name is Patrick Bojnowski, the owner of CryptoMaestro channel, and I'm very excited today as I do my first interview with Boris Ejsymont, the Chief Business Officer, CBO of Go2NFT project. So welcome Boris, and tell us how you're doing today.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I really appreciate it. Things are great. Some exciting things on the horizon, and I'm very happy and excited to share some of these with you.
Nice one. Maybe before we get to all the questions, tell us something about yourself. Tell us what is your experience and how you ended up working with or working for Go2NFT.
Sure. So I think a lot of people know, or even for the ones that do not know, I do not come from tech or the industry of blockchain, crypto, or anything like that. So my background is very much of more of a traditional business development sales. I also worked in hospitality for many years, studied international business, and I got to know the guys at a trade show in Dubai, and it was just amazing to see, hey, a blockchain from my native country of Poland as well. Came across it and connected with the guys. We had a lot of things in common, and I kind of saw a lot of what would you say, a lot of links where blockchain and also the stuff that we're doing with corporate NFTs, how this could help industries and industries that I've been in or are connected to. And that's kind of how the links started to be formed and the synergy, right? And then in February this year, I officially joined the project as a chief business officer. Maybe I should explain what a chief business officer is as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So do you manage the token or do you do more the marketing side?
Right. So a lot of people think I'm one of the co-founders, the owner, or the CEO. No, I'm basically a person that helps and pushes the business development forward. That does not mean tokenomics. Token economy. That doesn't mean tech at all. It simply means that I'm helping open doors, new doors, manage partnerships, coordinate those as well, assist in marketing, and assist in project management as well. But it's more on the forefront of the project itself, right? And I'm very good in opening doors and to manage relationships, and that's kind of where my strength lies as well. And not only that, but I lived and worked in many countries around the world, from Asia throughout to Middle East and in Europe, and even the US in Miami when I was a bit younger. So my network is very wide, and it goes into different fields and different industries, and that's kind of where my strength is, that I can add to the team, right?
I think everyone noticed that you are very good at opening doors because the project been on the market for a short period of time. You already managed to sign some impressive partnerships, but we'll get to it in a minute. The first question is, I want to ask you, so what is your project? What your project actually do?
Right. So the project itself is a utility type of project. It's a project that's supposed to help industries, and in particular producers and manufacturers of physical goods and items. It could be a fashion company such as Nike. It could be a watch producer such as Rolex. It could be a car maker such as Lamborghini, Audi, you name it. And it could be even, things such as sports equipment, kite surfing boards, right? In the instance of what we're doing at the moment. So it's, how do you connect NFTs and the utility of NFTs, not, speculative assets and funny pictures, as I always call them. That's cool as well, and that has its own purpose, and it's great that it's that the hype is there, but NFTs can be used for so much more than simply JPEGs that are collectible and selling and trading. So in our instance, it's all about certification of authenticity, right? And certification of originality, data sheets, and these are supposed to be stored in the form of NFTs on the blockchain.
Nice one. So now let's get to the partnership. So the most impressive one is VSA sponsored by Lamborghini. please explain me how this particular partnership actually works. Why VSR decided to sign the partnership with Go2NFT?
Right. So what we wanted to do is definitely to stand out, and because a lot of the guys in our team are petrol heads, and for you guys that do not know what a petrol head is someone that has a lot of interest in cars and motorsports in general. But we noticed that the industry itself is obviously one of the biggest. It's massive, right? And Lamborghini is in a way on such an iconic brand for a lot of people that are involved in the industry in general, for a lot of young guys. And I don't know if today's kids still have posters on the wall, but I remember one of the posters I had in my bedroom was of a Countach and of a Diablo, right, which is one of these iconic models. But the way it worked is that we have a lot of connection in different industry, right, and that's kind of where I come in. But through lobbying and through the connections and meetings, etc., we managed to get to Lamborghini Squadra Corsa, which is the motorsports department. In order to get to to this high level executives and to the industry itself and to such brands as Lamborghini, you can't just walk through the front door and just say hi. We're Mr. Go2NFT here, and we want to embed our technology. Right? It doesn't work. You have to showcase a kit. You have to showcase a proof of concept. If you're a new tech or a company that wants to get involved and have the tech be embedded in the cars or production line, whatever it might be, right, in some shape or form, you have to start somewhere. So what we did was we connected with one of their top teams, which is called VSR, or Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. Vincenzo Sospiri is the owner, a very, very famous person within the motorsports world in Europe and especially in Italy. And of course, they're connected to Lamborghini. So you got to start somewhere. So their idea was, hey, start with VSR, support them, and do a case study based on the racing cars that we have with them, right? And these are still Lamborghini, I mean, it's not a scam. It's Lamborghini racing cars, Huracan specifically. They're racing in the GT series in Italy, in Europe in general, and there are also series in Asia, and there are racing series as well in the US with the same type of cars. So what we're doing right now is that we're working on a case study showcasing how corporate NFTs can be used within motorsports, right? Once this is done, this is then presented as well to Lamborghini itself, and that's kind of how it goes. We also decided to push a little bit of marketing within this field. So obviously, when it comes to marketing, nothing is for free in this world. So there was a small investment as well done with the team itself to put our branding on the cars and stickers and this and that, right, to be part of the events as well. So we have an up and coming event in Barcelona. We'll be showcasing some new stuff as well, and we have constant meetings as well. I mean, tech workshops and stuff like that are happening. So that's kind of give you a little bit of top line and overview of how it works with VSR and with Lamborghini as well.
It seems like Go2NFT and SK Network have like a magic hat that they take in all this partnership. Just keep finding them out of nowhere, because I'm really impressed with this VSR Lamborghini. None of the crypto project ever even managed to get close to Lamborghini, and you just done it in like a couple of months. This is very, very impressive.
No, thank you. But the funny thing that people don't realize how much work is going on behind the scenes. They think it's all like, oh, you just pay here, or you just do a little bit of this, and you immediately have partnerships happening, right? And it's definitely not, right? Because a lot of the traditional industries that I come from, most people are afraid of, new tech as well. I mean, just think of the 90s when internet was just coming to every household, and people like, oh, why should I have a website? Why should I have an online store, right? It's the same thing with blockchain, NFTs, cryptocurrency, etc. It's the beginning of this revolution or evolution, as I say as well. And what requires is a lot of education. You need to educate people. You need to constantly explain, educate, describe, showcase, right? Create these case studies, and these take time. It's not like I'm going to another, business that's in the same industry as us, and like, because they would get it immediately, like, right? So here it's more about going to in some cases, a very old school and traditional industry, trying to then explain what it is that you're doing and how it can help them, right? Because we're all about adding value to producers and manufacturers, right? Through the help of blockchain and NFT, corporate NFT technology. I say corporate specifically because I don't want to be associated with funny pictures. Corporate NFT technology that serves as a utility, right? As added value. And that's kind of, sorry, I'm talking around the subject, but, I get
It's all right.
excited when kind of explaining, because it's a
I,
journey, it's a process. It takes time. People think it's just like, oh, you know, when am I,
I would be very
you know,
excited myself if I would manage sign the partnership with a team that is sponsored by Lamborghini. So don't worry about it.
yeah. And also just to add, because people also think that it's just simply you pick a team, and no, because there's a lot of due diligence that's being done from their side. You know, you can't just go to any team and have, especially being backed by such a big, iconic brand such as Lamborghini, they're just going to accept you, right? They're going to do due diligence, they're going to ask you, going to, have meetings with you. We had several meetings, long meetings as well, also with the management of Lamborghini Motorsports, for them to understand what we're about, because they're not just going to let anyone in. So we had to
Sure.
go through a process of, of classification and due diligence to even be able to start working with one of their teams, right? So
Yes.
that's that's kind of how it works. Like I said, people just think it's a simple walk, but it's not. It takes time.
Right. Recently, I saw your interview. That's another. I don't know if it's a partnership or is a cooperation with the
Right.
Marta Peplinska. Uh,
Yeah.
she makes some kind of art. And how this cooperation partnership works?
Right. So with Marta, it's a little bit more on a casual and fun side, right? So obviously we have our very serious partnerships such as VSR and SU2, which is the kite surfing board, which we can talk about in a moment. But with Marta, we wanted to showcase as well for the community because she's very talented, and we have a lot of young people in our team as well, and we always try to push them and to help and help in general people to move forward. And we found Marta on, I think it was Instagram, TikTok as well. And we said, wow, her art is amazing. She's very talented. She's great in front of the camera, very easygoing, easy to chat with. Say, hey, have you looked into, how technology, specifically our type of technology, how that could help you in the business and what you're trying to do? And then we had discussion, and then we decided, hey, let's do a fun interview and talk about NFT technology in art, and then she gave her thoughts, and we recorded that, and that was just a simple thing. But for those people that do not know, we do have something that we're working with her on. It's a smaller type of fun project. It's just another case study, and hopefully we'll have that done before the end of the year. Yeah.
Nice one. Um, is there another partnership? SU2
Right.
kiteboards. Can you
Right.
tell us something about this one?
So SU2 is a very premier kiteboard maker, kite surfing board maker, and what they do is, in general, kite surfing boards and equipment. So what we did is that also through connections, we managed to get to them directly, and we had a discussion with the owner and the tech team. And because the way we're connecting, and this is also worth telling a little bit, is the way we're connecting the NFTs, you need to obviously connect them somehow to the physical item itself. You could do it two ways: QR coding and NFC chips, right, or tags. NFC is near field communication. These are chips, they could look like buttons, um, bigger sizes, smaller sizes, whatever. And it's the same thing when you scan something. You could scan it with your phone or a machine, whatever, right? It's not a new technology, but this is the way that we could connect NFT with a physical item. So what we've done is we've taken one of these NFC tags and we've embedded it into the board on a specific side. There's basically on the front of the board on the top. And we've embedded it into the material of the carbon fiber and the wood itself, right? So you could actually scan the desk using our app, and you can then get the information data sheet about it as well, and you can play around with that. So basically ownership, model number, serial number, color, etc., right? So this is another case study that we've done. And these boards are going to start being now selling on the web store as well. And I'll tell you a little bit about our app for some updates in October. But yeah, it's just another case study, and for us, it's way we're going into the sports equipment and sports world now, right? So not only motorsports, but there's all these different industries that we want to get into, and it's just another case study for us to showcase a proof of concept.
Who knows? Maybe skiing, football, volleyball in the future.
You know what? If I'll tell you how many conversations we've had with different industries and manufacturers and producers of all kinds of goods, you'll be surprised. But like I said, it's just patience. It takes time. You got to knock on doors. You got to educate, right? But with time, we have a plan and roadmap of where we want to be. So we're working hard towards those goals.
I notice you are working hard. That's true. Right. So tell me why a company should choose you, why they should create a profile on your platform, on your marketplace. What's the
Right.
advantage of your project?
Right. So, I mean, the number one reason is that we're adding value to a producer and manufacturer and to their products themselves, right? A lot of companies want to get into blockchain, or they want to kind of embed NFT technology, or be part of this, like I said, the evolution, as I call it, but they just don't know how. And an easy way to do it is, hey, you don't have to create a collectible, funny picture. You don't have to create your own, currency always. It doesn't have to be as complicated. Let's start with, how do you secure the authenticity and originality of your products, right? I mean, very often you go nowadays, you get a paper certificate or a receipt, or something similar, and it's very old school, right? I mean, this is a very easy way of, hey, connect to our platform, connect with us, will help you basically embed the technology. And the way it is that we were talking about premium products, or things that do hold a certain value, like a kite surfing board. I mean, these are pretty expensive things. These are not cheap. There's also a secondary market for things, right? I mean, if you buy something that has value, you want to sell it in 2 years because you want to upgrade, you obviously need receipts, you need documentation to showcase that this is real, and it was bought at this point, and this is the value it was bought for, right? All these things very often get lost, or can be forged. Our technology is basically helping against these things. So you can have, something that's in the form of NFTs on blockchain. It cannot be lost, copied, forged, etc. So if you connected, via NFC technology to the NFT, boom, you have a lot of added value. So I think that's number one reason. And the second reason I would say is that we're also, looking to build this marketplace that we call it, where people that have embedded the technology, producers, manufacturers of all sorts, that have any types of products, can basically have a profile on our page and also verify themselves, and then people can go and say, hey, okay, they actually have this technology embedded. This is the profile of the company. And I think, as we once discussed, a third option, which is, I think, a little bit of down the line, down in the future, is that we call it a reinversed sales process. Instead of you going to a store, physical store, or an e-commerce store, where you actually buy the goods first, we're looking to in a way switch it and call it a reverse sales process, where you actually buy the NFT, the certification first, and then you go collect the item. Why would we do this? Well, one point which I think is the cost efficiency, saving costs for a lot of producers and manufacturers. Very often they produce more than they should. That comes with additional costs. You're producing more than you should. Obviously, that's logic. Number two, you have warehouse costs, logistics costs. I mean, there's a lot of things where you can actually trim it down and be more efficient. So that's why don't you sell the certificates and the NFTs first? And then, as a customer, you could go collect your item. So, you collect these as a producer, manufacturer, then you know exactly how much you've sold, and you give them a window to buy it within, right? So there's a lot of ideas that are still brewing, and that I think in the future, it'll be more and more clear of hey, NFTs as, certificates of authenticity today, but what else can we do down the line in the future? This is just one of them.
Will you be able to trace the history of purchase? on your marketplace or on the blockchain?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is the traceability as well, right? So, when you purchase an item, the whole idea is that your certificate of authenticity, the NFT itself, will be in your digital wallet, right? Which will be as well. There's something that this is something that we are creating. So every producer will be able to trace as well to see how many NFTs are out there, etc., etc., right? So yes, you have a traceability aspect of it as well.
Nice one. So what is your development strategy for the bear market, basically? How do you want to maybe grow the project during, well, not the best times for the crypto?
Right. So the first thing I'll say is that for us, this is a marathon and not a sprint. And what does that mean is that we are not trying to create something fast, make some bucks, and then disappear. No, we're a real project. We have technology that actually is embedded already in products, and our strategy is to do more case studies, create more partnerships, have more producers and manufacturers from different industries join our platform, join our family, as we call it as well, and just embed the technology. This will, just give a further proof of concept. This will help us develop as well more, come up with new ideas, and just grow the project. The more partners, the more, clients that are using our technology, the bigger value people will see in us, and we will as well just grow with that, right? So that's the idea. And I think for a lot of companies that stop their marketing or just slow down during these tough times, it's not good, because people will forget, or people will not take you serious, right? Because if you can survive a bear market as well, that means that you're doing something, right? Or at least I think that you take yourself and your project serious, right? So it's not like you're trying to just do something quickly and then disappear. No. So we are very committed, and we firmly believe in our technology and our product.
Uh, Before we get to another question, because we're talking now about the implementation on the NFT, there's a one comment actually pretty interesting, right to the topic that we're talking about now. I work in the marketing in clothing brands. Our teammates are thinking that NFT is a difficult topic. How would the implementation look like?
Okay, well, I mean, I've done a few videos where I discuss things such as 3 steps, and it's literally you go on our website, and I believe it's the partners site of it, or the heading, and you can download a PDF that kind of explains you the 3 steps. There's also the light paper, by the way, so you can go into further details about the project, etc., etc. But the way it works is that you send us an email, and I believe it's join@go2nft.io or .com, and you send us the profile PDF. You explain a little bit of what your business is about, what your products are about. You attach a few images, or PDF or catalog. We then basically do an analysis of the company itself and of your products, and then we select which NFC tags are the best and which way to kind of implement the technology. Then we do a trial. We try with let's say 10, 50, 100 items, and if all goes well, boom, you can enter the marketplace, and you have the technology embedded. So the process is literally 3 steps, and it's very simple.
I hope that helps. Right, so European Union is now cracking down on counterfeit. So
Right.
European Union is looking at NFT blockchain technology to fight counterfeit market. Do you actually see this as a threat or as an opportunity?
No, I think it's great, because it's simply reconfirming what we're trying to fight as well. And this is something I haven't mentioned, but yes, when it comes to forgery, copies, counterfeit, the issue itself, I mean, this is, and I think I mentioned it at a Warsaw conference at the beginning of the year, this is $1 trillion industry, right? I mean, everything is, copied and forged, from wine to, obviously, clothing is the big one. You have electronics, jewelry, watches. I mean, car parts even, right? And which can be very dangerous. But It's $1 trillion industry, and the industry itself, when it comes to counterfeit measures, are being taken, and the industry as well fighting it. I believe it's $211 billion industry, right? So that kind of puts us into that industry as well of how do you fight it. I don't think you will ever be able to completely stop it, because they'll just keep producing, but you can definitely fight it and increase the ability for original products and manufacturers and goods to protect themselves, right? And that's kind of like I said, the value that we're adding as a technology solutions provider. So by European Union, looking into how blockchain, NFTs, etc., could help them, support the brands that are within the European Union. Hey, it's just another case for us and say, hey, you see, we told you, right? And we're already doing this, right? So, we obviously have as well. We're actually in discussions with some people to see if we can join forces and for us to get as far up to be able to present our technology as a provider, as a solution as well. So I think it's awesome.
Because you have the technology ready. You can just go, hey, there you go. You don't need to develop your own product, your own website, and just use us. And that would be a massive plus for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just a catalyst, or if that's the right word to use. I think it's simply helping us just to showcase that, yeah, there's an issue and we have a solution. We're ready to help. So if they're saying it, and this is the higher grades of politics and the European Union itself, then it's serious enough to start for brands and manufacturers to start looking into this solution.
Before we get to the second part, the tokenomics of Go2NFT, I have one more question. Tell me about your rally team, Go2NFT rally team.
Right. So it's a little bit similar to VSR. We've kind of used them, and it was one of the first kind of case studies where we started looking into how we could help the world of motorsports, rally, automotive, to use blockchain and NFT technology to assist, right? How could they use it for parts, for traceability, against forgery? I mean, you'd be surprised, but there's a lot of copies as well within the racing world that are being out there, because, for example, if you need to buy spoilers or whatever it might be for a car, you need to buy it from the original manufacturer. Obviously, it's a high cost. Motorsports, it's a very expensive category of I would just say of business, of sports in general, right? Because it just, a rally car costs around 300,000 euros, right? Plus minus, obviously, depending on which it is. But just imagine that's just a car, and you need to buy parts for it. And, these parts are, they basically, you need to change them every single race or every second race, whatever the rules might be. So we've used them as well as a case study for us to do technical workshops, to look into how we could basically connect NFTs and NFCs, the chips, where we could place them. So it's just another playing ground for us, for our tech team.
Yeah, just imagine if your driver crash every other week, how much that wouldn't cost you.
No, exactly, but it's simply as well, because a lot of manufacturers, they do spot checks as well, making sure that original parts are being used by companies. So, and this is very strict regulations as well. So, like I said, for us, it's another play field for the tech team to do the tech workshops, to develop the product, to as well better the product, right, and then come up with new ideas as well, right? So, because if we don't have physical items to work with or play around with, how are we gonna grow, right? And that's why we're looking into all these different industries.
I think I asked you all the questions that I wanted to about the Go2NFT technology. So I know the part of the team that deal with the tokens. You actually are marketing officer, the business officer. So if you can answer a few questions about the tokenomics and the token listings and all this. So the first question I want to ask you is that tell us about the token itself, the tokenomics. What's how the token is divided, maybe?
I mean, so I'll tell you a little bit of, the latest updates because things are changing the strategy and so on. But in general, I mean, it's a utility token, right? So the idea is when someone purchases an NFT, or NFT as a certification, right? They need it for their business. The cost would usually, I mean, we have some ideas around 5 cents as well. And what happens is also staking will happen. Half of the tokens will be burned, and half will be given to investors. That's kind of the idea of how it would work. And also, a lot of people asked in terms of when are we listing on DEX, on SEX, etc. I mean, the idea is to list first once the pre-sales end on PancakeSwap, which will be the first. And what we want to do is to create, a little bit more liquidity and create a pool, right? Investing would also, by the way, happen around, I think, around a month after. We need to build up more value and additional partnerships, and that's kind of, new announcements will come in this particular category. I hope I'm being clear enough. I know there's a lot of questions about this, but like I said, it's definitely with the top guys and the co-founders. But what I can else say, because I see there's already someone asking about the pre-sale. Yes, we have been a little bit delayed with finalizing the pre-sale, by the way. We wanted to end it, to have it end earlier. I mean, I would say market conditions is also not helping us. And the fact people sometimes don't understand that things do take time. We did extend it throughout the whole of September. I think we're gonna continue to do it for another 2 weeks in October, and the plan is to finalize it by mid-October plus minus. This is definitely the date that I've been given as well. And even if we would not finalize the pre-sale by then, the idea is to just give back the funding to all of the people that have initially bought the pre-sale, right? So that's definitely going to happen. Also, which is quite interesting, is that even if the pre-sale wouldn't be as successful as we wanted, we are in discussions with some very interesting VCs from the industry, both in UAE, Middle East area, but also out of Asia. So we are in discussions with some big people, and that might be a route that we might be taking, right, to secure additional funding. So that's kind of, a lot of, like I said, a lot of people are constantly asking about the pre-sale, and I think that mid-October would definitely be kind of the final date then for, either we've done it, we've accomplished what we wanted, or if not, we will just give the pre-sale back to whoever has invested.
So if you don't reach 100% of the pre-sale,
Right,
you're gonna
exactly.
give money back.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? I mean, of
Right.
course, because, like I said, we're a real project. We are not fooling anyone here. And like I said, for us, it's also a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's very important that we're staying as clear as as true as possible and as honest, right? What I wanted to announce as well, I cannot really announce it, but I can definitely give some hints that we have a major partnership that will be announced when we are in Barcelona at the end of this month or beginning of October. We have a very big person or personality that joins us as I would say, join the Go2NFT family as an ambassador, but that person is also has their own, I can't say what kind of products, but they have a very interesting product line of something. And we will be doing a very big case study on those products, right? And it's going to be a little bit of verification tool for the authenticity of that product, right? And I think with the help of her, we would be able to actually finalize the pre-sale. But hey, I can't see in the future. Time will tell. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. So PancakeSwap first, and then obviously the goal is to hit the bigger central exchanges down the line, hopefully by next year.
Do you have any particular schedule, a roadmap for the token and your project? Do you have anything already like written down for sure?
This is something that's hard for me to answer. It really depends on how we do, right? I mean, the what I can say is, from my side at least, the idea is to basically just create as many partnerships and as many case studies as possible before the end of the year. Do as many, technology solutions for companies as possible, showcase it, push the marketing. We have another agency, a marketing agency that actually is going to come on board to help us. This will also be announced soon in October. So there's a lot of stuff happening now in Q4 and from the start of October onwards, right? So, I think that, they're really depending as well. When does the bear market finish? But like I said, we will continue no matter what. We won't stop. Bear market, bull market, whatever, we'll be pushing. And that's kind of the goal, is to to get to a certain point. But the announcement in beginning of October would be very cool. So I definitely think people should stay tuned for that. It's a big personality, very known, not only in Poland but also in the US, and it's a sporting personality.
Well, looking at your previous partnership with the VSR, we all, I think, believe you. We can't
Yeah.
wait for this big personality.
Yeah, we you know what I mean? I mean, if we go big, we just go big, right? There's no point. Go big or go home. So if we do something, it's definitely to stand out and to showcase, not using just ambassadors to, as poster boys, or not a very nice way to say it, but to actually use them to open doors for them to also, if they have their own product line, to embed the technology into their products as well, right? And for them to have that added value. So yeah, it's some interesting times, and I'm very excited myself because certain things take a long time, but when we're there, and we'll be able to showcase and to announce and so on, then it's going to be great. I have another small interview coming up with our CTO, who's also the CTO of SK Network or Blockchain, Herman. That's coming up at the beginning of next week. So I can just say a few things, but we have also the official new app, or the verificator as we call it, or Verify, will come into the App Store in October as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening, right? There's a lot of stuff.
I have two-in-one question for you now. What
Okay.
part SK Network plays in Go2NFT? And
Right.
because Go2NFT is based on BNB, Binance Smart Chain, and as we know, SK Network has its own chain as well. So will Go2NFT migrate over to SK Network in
Right.
the future?
So from technological point of view, I don't want to say too much. I rather have our CTO give official news or updates on that. But what I can say is, why are we building on SK or Sky Network? Well, first of all, when it comes to NFTs and so on, it's very cheap and it's very fast, right? That's kind of the main reason. Plus, the project itself is one of the first, or the main project at the moment that's being built on it. So there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of support, and there's a lot of funding that's gone to support Go2NFT, right? And but there will be bridges done as well in the future to kind of develop as well from a technical point of view. That's what I know. I can't tell you when and exactly what, but I'll, like I said, we also created, by the way, something called Go2NFT TV, where we do want to have interviews and industry updates and updates from our team, what is happening, right? Because I know that people can be anxious sometimes, so we try to put up some content from time to time and do some updates. So we'll continue to do that as we go, right? So from time to time people will have more information, but I suggest keep sending those questions on the Telegram community or on Twitter or whatever, and we'll always try to bring them up when we can and when we have answers to them, right?
Right. And now I have for you the most important question that everyone wants to know.
Go for it. Go for it.
When moon?
When, man, yesterday. No, but to be honest, I think this is gonna be a unicorn project. I am very confident in this. Like I said, it's not just another collectible funny pictures NFT project. No, it's a utility project. I mean, look at the general industry business. um, you know uh, how could you embed NFT technology, blockchain? I think we're the solution for a lot of it, and authentication, certification, data is very important. How do you protect that, right? I mean, it's a billion and billion and billion dollar industry, right? So, hopefully next year, let's put it this way, right? You know what? Now they're probably gonna write. Boris said
Yeah,
that mooning is,
yeah,
is next year, so we're gonna hold him accountable. But
yeah. It'll be a little
however,
GIF on the Telegram group now. Boris will
yeah,
moon.
yeah, exactly. No, it's okay. It's okay. I
And
hope
if
I
you can
answered
get
a few
me,
questions. Yeah.
and if you can get me the exact date when Binance.
Exactly. I'll give you the exact dates, but we'll do another live session maybe in a few months. We'll give you some updates on where we are, maybe before the end of the before Christmas. Like I said, I'm very excited about October because a lot of stuff is happening, new partnerships, and this new ambassador joining, and a new marketing agency coming on board. And by the way, we will be revealing more of the team as well. I mean, obviously, SK Network, the people behind it are involved. The team are the developers as well on this. So this is nothing new, but we'll definitely make it more official as well as we go. So, updates to websites. I mean, you name it. So yeah, but I'm working in the behind the scenes, and in a low key type of setting sometimes. So people ask me, why don't you join the Telegram community? I'm like, "Oh, man, I'm working. We have administrators for that. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I signed a partnership with VSR, supported by Lamborghini. I can't just sit on the Telegram all day and answering
Yeah,
questions.
no, but you'll be surprised how much work you have to do behind the scenes to get to where you want. And I mean, it's super exciting. So everyone has their own job functionality. Yeah. So you need to be very efficient nowadays.
I think that's all the questions I wanted to ask you in this AMA, Boris. So I'm very, very happy I could do this live interview with you, and I hope we'll do another live interview in a couple of months, maybe a couple of weeks, when you have but more informations about partnerships and pre-sale and listings as well.
Definitely, I'm more than happy, and I'm happy to be the first one, as the first interview for you on YouTube. So as we'll be following you, and good luck with the channel, and thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. See you
Have a good
later.
one. Bye.
You too.